Joining me here today after the Annika driven by Gainbridge at Pelican is our 2025 champion, Linn Grant, and tournament host, Annika Sorenstam. Lynn, what does it mean to be sitting here today as the champion?
Oh, I don't even know if I can explain that. I think for myself, this season has been personally quite disappointing up until now. I said in some interview that golf is such a, vicious game, and how one day you believe you can win everything, and then the next you don't believe in yourself at all. And I think today was just, a win for me. And I think especially with Annika and her events, I think it was maybe a win for little me. It's just very fun to be sitting here with you, with all the history we sort of have, and with all the events that I've played. I think I played in all the events on like every level up until this one. So I think it's a true full circle, both personally and with sitting here with Annika as well.
Annika, this is the first time that a Swede has won this event. What does it mean to have Lynn sitting here next to you as a champion?
Well, I'm super proud of Lynn to be here. I mean, as you know, this is one of the top tournaments on the LPGA, especially this time of year. Limited field, and everybody's ready to kind of get some points for next week and, climb up the leaderboard, or whether it's Rookie of the Year or Player of the Year. I mean, there's a lot on stake, so we know that the competition is really tough. And so like Lynn said, maybe, she hasn't had her best year, but certainly stepped up when she wanted to and needed to, I guess. And so it goes back to, like she said, the full circle, because if you think about what this tournament is about, one of the beneficiaries is the ANNIKA Foundation, and we have had several players that have played in our events. For them to be here is a big deal, and then obviously to win is even a bigger deal. So, in a lot of ways, it's kind of cool because it justifies what we do, starting at the level of, 6-year-olds from the clinic yesterday to whether it's just, teenage competition to college competition to professional. And so it's really, really, really cool. But, it's all about Lynn and what she did this week. And so it's exciting to sit here with her and happy for her. I think everybody who has watched Lynn growing up know that there's a lot of potential in there. And she's already won, as you know. But still, I think, the pressure is always there when you come in knowing that you're a good player and you come out here and probably want to get off to a really quick start. But it's hard out here, so you're going to cherish every win.
Do you agree with everything Annika just said?
Yes. I always felt that after the game of golf, once you're finished as a pro, there's not really any pressure for you to, to still be out here and do what Annika is doing. And I always felt that, it's such a big role to take on, and I think you do it very, very well. And also, just the fact that you don't have to do that. And I think that's really big. And I don't think that everyone is that sort of person. But like I said, I think you do it very well. And I've always loved to play in your events and everything you do.
Lynn, first win since 2023. Dana Open a couple years ago. How gratifying does it feel just to get the job done here?
It feels very nice. Like you said, like Annika said, just there are weeks where I feel like obviously everyone feels like their game is really good and there could potentially be a win, and it's just really nice to see it go all the way, and to really walk off 18 and be able to pat yourself on the shoulder and feel like I actually did it this week.
And for Annika, Lynn is obviously our 29th different champion this season. As somebody that dominated when she was out here, what do you think that level of parity says about the depth of the LPGA right now, and how cool is it just to see it continue at your event?
Yeah, no, I think it's been an interesting year on the LPGA. I would think that, after 24, I don't think people would have thought what we'd see this year would be what it is. But I think it shows the depth of the tour. It's, I think we're in a little bit of a transition between some players and generations maybe. So, I follow the tour very closely as much as you do probably. So it's interesting to see the young players coming up and just kind of establish themselves here. And some of them are, getting out there in front a little more than others. So I think it's a good time to be an LPGA player, knowing that you have a new commissioner. I know that there's a lot of, events are just growing and pros are getting better. Courses are getting, kind of those top-notch courses. There's a lot of good reasons to be part of the LPGA. And so, happy happy for players like Lynn. They're just literally starting their career, right? So it's we'll see what happens next year. But this year, I think it's been a little different than maybe we thought early in the season.
You said yesterday you were expecting a push today. Did you ever feel that push, or was it more you pushing yourself?
Well, I was playing with Jennifer, and she was obviously playing very well too. I think the both of us really pushed each other to make a lot of birdies today. I was looking at the leaderboard. I looked over, and I was like, okay, so we were at the top, and then there was a couple shots down to the third place. I was like, of course there's going to be another one playing really well today. But I think that's also, it feels better now when I'm done to feel like, I felt like I almost beat her because she was playing so well. And it was a great battle.
Hey, so just specifically through the season, you missed 4 straight cuts, and you bounced back, and then you missed 3 straight, and then you bounced back again. Can you kind of tell us about how you persevered, or what was going on, or how you managed that?
I don't know, to be fair. I feel like golf and this lifestyle is always, a roller coaster of trying to figure out how to get better. And sometimes it's just about taking a step back and maybe look at it yourself and be like, am I happy? Am I, making the decisions that make me happy? And sometimes that is what makes golf easier. But you have to be kind of strong and confident in those decisions to be able to say, maybe I'm not playing this week because I'm not feeling it because it doesn't make me happy, or changing, just your plans or how you do things, more for yourself, to be truer for yourself. And I think that for me this year has been really big. Like, I've had to change a lot of things in my routines. Things that I thought was just things that were good to do because other people were doing them, instead of thinking of what do I actually believe in? What do I think makes me a better person and a better player?
Did you change anything this week or no?
Not specifically for this week, but no.
Lynn, 52 consecutive holes without a bogey. When was the last time that you had that kind of stretch in tournament golf?
I don't think I've ever had that kind of stretch, maybe. It's been really fun to play this week. I really love this golf course, and I had a good feeling walking into it. Just the feeling of wanting to play golf. That's not every week, and just really wanted to go out and play and play as well as I could.
You also have touched on kind of the peaks and valleys that go along with a competitive year. What, if anything, might have changed since you got back from Asia and to get ready for this tournament that gave you confidence?
Oh, I don't know what changed. I think for pretty much the fall, I feel like I've been doing things that I more so believe I should be doing. Not stressing too much over my results, or feeling like I'm not as good as I should be, or I should have been more successful in ways, but just believing that whatever path I'm on is for me.
When we're looking at the fact that we have 25% of women who are golfers right now, 38% of junior golfers are little girls as of this year, how do we feel about those statistics? You guys are very much living proof of this, and maybe Annika, to your point, you retired in 2008. Those numbers are probably very, very different, but how do we make sure that those junior golfer numbers keep growing, and then of course that grows into women golfers, female golfers as they become adults?
Yeah, when I stopped, there was 17% of junior girls. So we know those numbers quite well. I'm glad they're 38%. So, yeah, of course, we can continue to grow, At one point, I'd like to see 50-50. I think this is a sport for everyone. But, it takes time, and it takes role models, like Lynn here play the way she did. I don't know if you were out there, but see all these young girls there with the little balls they have, and visors and pencils. I mean, everything. They're just so excited to be here, and that's, I think, what sparks the interest, and hopefully more young girls will play. And also the Women's Summit is another way to bring women into the sport and just have them part of the tournament, the atmosphere. Many of them that were here Tuesday came out Saturday and Sunday and just watched. So I think just including them, making them feel part of it, and come up with initiatives that's exciting for them, and we just got to keep on going. But the LPGA to me is a great platform for that, because these are successful women that are inspirational in a lot of ways, and there's so many takeaways you can take from a professional golfer into just regular life. So I think it's a great combo, and we're going to continue to do that.
I just forgot the first one. Hang on, Lynn. Being such a strange game that you don't know what you're going to have day after day. When did you feel it today? When did you feel comfortable that you had a good enough game to compete?
I think I've been feeling like that all week, which has been very relaxing in a way. And just today, like I walked out and just kept telling myself the mantra of like whenever I rushed away in my thoughts, I would just go back to thinking that my only job today was to play as well as I can, to do my very best. And if that's not enough, that's fine. And I even said to Pontus, I was like, I mean, if we don't win today and I still manage to do as well as I can, I'm really happy with the week because I've been playing really well. And if someone, sneaks up behind and shoots a low round, that's their win.
Was there a shot today that stood out that was particularly pleasing?
I mean, on 9 today, I looked at Pontus and I said, well, I'm not playing with this pin. Like, I'm just going to keep it left, keep it safe. I'm not going to hit it out there. And then I pushed it a little, and it turned out to be really good. But I just said I almost had a heart attack like by myself because I was just like, whenever I saw the shot come out. But it's just like one of those days where whatever I did, it just worked out.
And one last one, if it's okay, Jeremy. What do you have planned the rest of the year? You have next week, and then is that it?
That's it. Yeah.
So you've won somewhere every year as a pro. In fact, I guess you can include the Nordic Golf League as an amateur. How proud are you to extend that streak?
Very proud, I would say. I didn't even think about it until now, but
That's what I'm here for.
yeah, thank you. But yeah, I think my dad is a man of good words, I'd say. And he's always said, whenever he looked at someone else's career, he always said, if you have a win every year, that's pretty solid. So I guess that's what it is.
Doug.
Okay, I've got one for each of you, kind of on a bigger spectrum question. First one, a couple days ago, you were nice enough to go over for Amy Bockerstedt's clinic that she was giving. When you do stuff like that, does it give you an opportunity to kind of take a step back and look at the bigger picture of how great the game of golf is as inclusive as it is, but also help you kind of give you perspective about the game of golf? Yeah,
100%. I think you nailed it. I think just walking over there and seeing how happy they were and how excited they were, it just brought all my focus just to them for those 10 minutes I was there. And then I was hitting some balls on the range and I was watching them all hit, and Ponce and I were both very impressed with how good they were. And so I for sure think that helped me for the week, truly, to just get a step back and see golf for how, like you said, inclusive, and for everyone, how it could include everyone.
And Annika, a cute moment earlier this week, I overheard a little girl seeing you just kind of walking around among the general public, and she's like, oh my gosh, Mom, there's Annika. I wonder if she's lost. She's out here in the middle walking around everybody. You've obviously been everywhere this week, especially. A lot going on. When you go back tonight, catch a breath, kind of assess everything. Just a few comments on your feelings about the week, from the Folds of Honor to Amy Bockerstedt to everything that was going on this week. Just a few initial comments about the success of it.
Yeah, no, I think, words that come to my mind is certainly proud, satisfied, and then just excited. And I don't know, there's a calmness just because I feel like the week just went kind of what we had hoped and planned, and a lot of things just kind of aligned beautifully this week. Just from starting the day with the winner, the weather, the people, the initiatives, the engagement. I mean, everything, all the different activities that were planned with sponsor invites, with Caitlin Clark. And I mean, it's just a lot of, I just had really a good feeling. I know that the Doyle family felt the same way. It's like, it just feels good. And no, I wasn't lost out there. I've been walking around every part of the course just because I love to be here, but also then be able to connect with whether it is sponsors and players or caddies or fans or whatever, just kind of walking around here with the members. And that's the best way to get a feel for the tournament. So yeah, I'll be putting my head on the pillow with a smile on my face. And but I do know I'll be sleeping well tonight. I can tell you that is the alarm will not get up that early tomorrow.
Thank you.
Lynn, the phrase full circle has been used a few times today. How old were you when you first met Annika, and what do you remember about that encounter?
I think I played the Annika Cup, and I remember we had like a wedge session. Do you remember that?
Yeah, so Annika Cup, I mean, they're like 10, 12 years old. So yeah, I do a lot of wedge sessions with the young girls, so I'd like to hear what you remember.
Yeah, I remember playing in that event. It's like a team event, and it's I just remember getting so many new friends from that week, and it was so much fun. And I remember your clinic specifically where you were hitting, I think Mike was there with the glove. Yeah. And I was so impressed with, how can you hit a wedge and then just have someone stand there and just catch it. And then I started doing that with my dad. So thanks for that. And then also in either that week or the Invitational, there was always these fun get-togethers. Either it was cooking food together or it was listening to someone speak about a certain subject and things for us to learn. I think everything outside of golf was so much fun, so that the tournament, it didn't matter how it went, if we won or if you played well, because you always looked forward to these kind of events that Annika hosted. It was it felt like a tour, like a pro event, even before it was.
Did you get tongue-tied the first time you met her?
Probably, yeah.
Hi. When you were going through and stopping by the I Got This Foundation, and now you're obviously an inspiration, especially in Sweden now as you continue to win, what sort of thoughts have you put behind the legacy you want to leave in golf as you continue playing?
Ooh, I think that's something that I think about each year, and I feel like it changes so much. I mean, just a couple years ago, I was like, I can't even think about that because I was so into trying to get better in my own golf. But I feel like a week like this, even meeting the players the other day, it puts it in a very big perspective. Also the question about young girls playing, the older I get, the more you want to help people get involved. And it's funny how that changes, and I'm very happy it goes that way and not the opposite. And I really look forward to the time when I'm done to see what I'll be doing. I'm not sure what it is yet, but I hope it will be something that helps the game for sure.
I want to talk about the butterfly effect, or also the Caitlin Clark effect. When we're talking about having such a spotlight, this Avengers collaboration between women in sports, but also the impact in the Tampa community that we're able to have such a front row seat to Lynn, to you, Annika, to Caitlin Clark. What does that mean when we're talking about the impact right on the front row to Tampa, as well as just to women's sports in general, that we are now making so much of this so accessible that little girls and other people can just see Caitlin Clark or Lynn walking around or you walking around, Annika? Where do we go from here to make sure this keeps happening? And of course, just speak to the fact that we had a very cool collaboration happening earlier this week.
You want me to take that one? I got this. Okay. No, but I mean you're right. How do we capitalize this, and how do we grow on this? And I think what we have seen is, when somebody like Caitlin Clark comes here, there's an extra buzz. She brings more people into to this event, the more people watch. You know, the Pro-Am was now, you could watch the Pro-Am on TV or Golf Channel. I don't think you could do that before. Just a lot of, you know, effects with that. And I mean, you know, when you look at the media numbers for this week in general, I think we're all going to be extremely, you know, happy and excited, because I know they have doubled and tripled some of the numbers are tracking, whether it's tickets or just, you know, expressions, etc. But I think that the key for us is, like, how do we do this more often? How do we carry it from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday into Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday? I mean, the players can only do so much, but I think the interest is there. So those are questions they're on the table for sure. Don't necessarily have the answers, but we would love to continue that. And, you know, when you bring in other female athlete, like, you know, Gainbridge has brought in, you know, Caitlin and you know, Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hall, you could see, like, there was a different type of people, but they were like, oh, I want to try golf. It's like they've never, you know, they never come here for that reason, but now you open their eyes, and I hope we can do that more in different ways. So I think it's really important, I mean, for female athletes to help each other. I mean, I think this elevate, you know, some of the WNBA as much as they elevate LPGA. So I'm all for partnerships and collaborations and make it fun for everyone.
Yeah, Lynn, just wanted to end on this. When you do this for a living, is it easy to fall into the trap of happiness being connected only to good golf scores?
Yes. Yes.
How do you deal with that, or?
I feel like for me, like, this year specifically has been, I wouldn't call it a setback at all. I would just say, like, it has put my thoughts in a different perspective. Just thinking, you know, there's so many days you walk off the course and you're always like, I could have done that better, or I could have putted better. Even if you walk off and you've you know, you're a couple under par, you feel like, I could have, you know, hold that putt, or you're never really truly 100% satisfied. And I think that's what's really tough about this sport, to feel like you can always do more than you do, and you can always do it better. And I think it's an ongoing process for me specifically, I think, or for everyone, I guess. But I mean, you just learn to sort of, that's like the lifestyle, and you learn to be a little bit kinder to yourself, and be more proud of the small wins.
Thank you.
When you shot 59, was there any part of you ever that said, man, that should have been 58?
I did have a putt for 58, so yeah, why didn't it go in? Yeah, no, I mean, I echo what Lynn said there. I mean, you know, you follow a lot of golf, Doug. I mean, you know, you become your score sometimes. I mean, that's what we live for. If you don't play well, you know, you're not seen and you're not heard. If you play well, people see you and you're heard. And it's that correlation that is, you know, that puts a lot of pressure on every player. Especially if you don't play for a longer period of time, you start doubting yourself, and, you know, you start looking at this, am I making the right decision? Is this where I want to be? And then when you play well, it's like, it's sunny every day, and bounces are great, and putts go in, and life is easy. And it's, but I would say that's just, you know, that's life in general. But, you know, especially in golf, I mean, numbers is what we talk about. It's, you know, you compare yourself to numbers, and sometimes you don't see the whole picture. And I think that's what Lynn was talking about, the clinic here. And especially now when I stepped away, I mean, I see it totally different way, because I'm not playing. I'm not measured by my numbers anymore. And you look at more, the numbers I'm looking at is how many people come here and how many girls are here. So different type of, you know, numbers that give you satisfaction and knowing that you're doing the right thing.
Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, Annika.
Yeah, thank you.